Alexander Mattoni here, co-founder and head of engineering at Cycle.io, and today I'm super excited to announce the release of a new feature, virtual machines. Okay, virtual machines aren't anything new, but they're new to Cycle, and the reason that we decided to implement them is because we've seen many people coming to our platform with legacy applications or security-oriented applications, things where containers just aren't going to cut it. Now, virtual machines are a little bit of an older tech, they're battle hardened, and they're still extensively in use today by tons and tons of corporations, businesses, etc. And we wanted to be able to support that on our platform, but we wanted to do it in a cycle way, which means virtual machines on Cycle integrate into your environments just like a container would. In fact, the virtual machine functions on our platform very similar to how a container would. The difference being obviously that it's a virtual machine, so it's got a custom kernel and all this other cool stuff with it. Um, so with these new virtual machines, people can bring their legacy applications over, integrate them alongside their new modern development practices as they're deploying containers and stuff too, because those virtual machines and those containers can all communicate over their private network. Or, if they need something a little bit specific or, security hardened, etc. for their applications, we can now support that too. So let's dive in and take a look at what this looks like on our platform. So here we have Cycle, obviously. I'm in an environment on our dev cluster, and you can see I've already got one virtual machine up, but we're going to start fresh with something new. So from here, I can hit deploy virtual machine, give it a name, and then from here, I can choose my image that I want to deploy my virtual machine with. Now, Cycle is coming with several different base images of popular Linux distributions, Arch, Debian, Fedora, Ubuntu, etc., etc. We also support being able to pull in your own custom image from a URL. Now, I'm going to stick with the base images today. They have Cloud Init built into it, so they can automatically configure their networking and a bunch of other things like that to make it easier. But you can also bring in your own from an external URL. And eventually we'll support iPXE chain loading and other things like that. We've got that on the roadmap as well. Now, another neat thing is, virtual machines have hard resource limits. So these are going to be allocated for this virtual machine, and these will be hard limits for it. Let's say 4 gigabytes of RAM. I'm just deploying a simple Alpine Linux virtual machine. And then from here, you can add additional storage and customize the base volume where your root installation is. If I select additional storage, I can actually attach custom block devices to it. Now they won't be formatted or easy to use or as easy to use as they are with containers on Cycle, but with block formatted storage like this, I can customize it and do whatever it is that I want to do with it. I'm not going to add any for this demo. I'm going to keep the host name as my new VM. We're going to set it to egress only and not going to customize any constraints for the server. And you can see here, here's the summary of my new virtual machine that I'm going to deploy. Let's create it. So from here, you'll see I'm kind of dumped into a modal that's similar to the way that containers look, but there's a few differences. Let's get this started here while we're going. You'll see that networking is going to go egress only. You'll see that we have public networking disabled, our base volumes, etc. And I can come over here to our hypervisor. Now the hypervisor on Cycle runs as a container, but it's running QEMU inside of it. So we're actually able to manage this virtual machine via this hypervisor container. Now, normally you won't need to interact with this whatsoever, but I'm just waiting for this to start. It looks like it's already downloaded the image and everything's good to go. Now, what's really cool about that is I can actually serial SSH into it, much the same way you can SSH into a container instance on Cycle today. So we'll hit get serial console, copy that, and then from here, I'm going to bring up my terminal. There we go. Paste that in, and then we'll copy this password here as well, and we'll paste that in. And then we should be able to connect to this node, and voila, we can actually already log in. So by default, we're going to provide a root username, and then here, we can actually pull our root password out of Cycle. It generated one for us. You can change it as well, of course. Paste that in, and I'm inside an Arch Linux, or I'm sorry, an Alpine Linux virtual machine running on Cycle in a containerized hypervisor. So we've got a lot of really awesome stuff going on here. Let's do uname. You can see here, this is a virtualized kernel. It's different than the kernel that the containers would be sharing on the same host. So there's an extra layer of security here. Now, to show how some of the networking pieces work with virtual machines on Cycle, I've gone ahead and actually deployed a container here. It's just a little server that's running on there, but I want to be able to show you what it looks like when we actually connect to that on a network level. So let me pull up my terminal again, and we'll clear this out. And now if I ping the host name of that container, which is echo server, you can see here I'm actually getting pings over the private network. So the virtual machine, I'm inside that Alpine virtual machine right now. It's integrated into Cycle's networking on the environment level, and I can actually ping my other containers over a private network without any custom configuration or anything like that. This is all working out of the box. So that's one of the really nice advantages if you're bringing legacy applications over to the platform. Those legacy applications can actually be deployed alongside more modern things that you might be building, so that you don't have to spend time trying to modernize those specific applications. They'll just kind of slot right in and work. Cool. So from here, the sky's the limit. Cycle is being upgraded to be able to deploy any kind of application, any kind of workload across any kind of infrastructure. And virtual machines are taking us to a whole new level there. So let us know what you think. This is live now today. So for our current customers, you're able to actually deploy virtual machines right now. And we're super excited to see what you do with them. We've got a lot more stuff in the pipe coming, so stay tuned. Cycle is only going to get better and better. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.